Good evening. On behalf of the League of Women Voters of the Morris area and our co-sponsors, Morristown Area Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Inc., Morristown Alumni Chapter, and the Daily Record, part of USA Today New Jersey Network, I am pleased to welcome you to our Parsippany-Troy Hills Town Council debate. My name is Joy Treef, and I am a member of the League of Women Voters of the Morris area and a junior at Randolph High School. I have a strong interest in politics and therefore am proud to be part of an organization that encourages informed participation in our democracy. The LWV is a nonpartisan political organization, and therefore we never support or oppose political parties or candidates. Elections and voting are our core concerns, and empowering voters defending democracy is our mission. We are committed to providing fact-based information about issues and positions candidates take on those issues to help voters make their own decisions and participate in the electoral process. Membership in the League is open to all ages and gender identities. We welcome volunteers whether or not you are a member. With 100 years of experience, the League is one of America's oldest and most trusted civic nonprofit organizations. So with that, I would like to welcome our co-sponsors for this debate, Mr. Bill Westhoven, a reporter with the Daily Record, to say a few words, and Miss Angelica Allen McKillen, a representative of Delta Sigma Theta Inc. Morristown Alumni Chapter, to also say a few words.
Hello. Good evening. Thanks for having me. The Daily Record is proud to support the League of Women Voters in presenting local election debates, an essential service to all citizens eager to become informed voters. Now part of the USA Today network, the Daily Record has covered Morris County since the year 1900, which means we will soon be celebrating our 125th anniversary. As for me, I'm a 31-year veteran of the Parsippany beat, and as such, I thank both candidates for agreeing to this forum. Be aware the Daily Record will continue to cover the primary race, but will not make any local or county endorsements. Good luck to you both.
Good evening. My name is Angelica Allen McMillan, and I am the Social Action Chair of the Morristown Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. We provide an extensive array of public service initiatives through our 5-point programmatic thrust. And as part of our political awareness and involvement thrust, the Morristown Alumni Chapter is engaged in voter registration, education, and mobilization in Morris, Sussex, Warren, and Hunterdon counties. I would like to thank the League of Women Voters for inviting us to co-sponsor the Parsippany-Troy Hills Republican mayoral debate, along with the Daily Record. We look forward to a healthy debate between the candidates. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. We encourage everyone to go to vote411.org, a one-stop site for information on all aspects of voting in New Jersey. And please visit our website to learn more about the Morris Area League. Also, remember to make your vote count and vote in one of three ways. The first way is to vote by mail ballot if you signed up for that. The second way is early in person using a voting machine from June 3rd to June 8th. And the third way is in person on Tuesday, June 10th. Additionally, this forum is being live streamed on the Morris Area LWV YouTube channel and will be available there for viewing afterwards. Other language captions will be available tomorrow on the stream. Moreover, we encourage the sharing of the League's recordings of this event in its entirety, but do not allow editing or making public any excerpts from this recording. The League's name, logo, event recording, or any material from the event cannot be used in a way that could lead a viewer or reader to infer League support or of opposition to a candidacy. So at this time, I would like to introduce our moderator, Ms. Nancy Hiedinger. Nancy is a League-trained moderator who is not from this voting district. She will introduce the candidates and outline the format for this evening. Thank you.
Sorry, I was on mute. Thank you, Joy. And thank you all for tuning in this evening or later to hear your candidates' views for the GOP primary. Your candidates are James Barbario and Justin Musella. And thank you to them for agreeing to participate. So the questions that we will be asking this evening came from the voters of Parsippany-Troy Hills. You had an opportunity to submit their questions via a linked Google form online, and these varied questions have been reviewed by the League and this evening's sponsors for length, clarity, and language in an attempt to consolidate multiple questions on one topic into a single question. Your specific question may not be asked, but it's represented in the questions we're asking. It may be represented in the questions we're asking. Hopefully it will be if we get through enough questions. The format for this evening's debate will be as follows. Each candidate will have the opportunity for a 2-minute opening statement. I will then ask each of the candidates to answer a question. Questions have not been shared with the candidates in advance. Each candidate will have 1 minute to answer each question. And in order to ensure that both candidates have the opportunity to respond first and last to questions, I'll alternate between them as to who starts with the answer. After both candidates have responded to a question, they will be offered the opportunity for a 30-second rebuttal for that question. And following the Q&A session, each candidate will deliver a 2-minute closing statement. Our timekeeper for this evening is Diane Holland, who's not visible. And she will hold up a card which gives a 30-second warning, followed by an alert when the time is up. That's the red card. Candidates, of course, are allowed to finish their sentences, but time limits will be strictly enforced. So now let's get started. Our first question is for James, and it is as follows. The affordable housing mandate has created problems for many towns trying to meet their affordable housing quota with the development that is required to achieve it. Parsippany-Troy Hills residents are seeing thousands of residential units being constructed with more on the way and are clearly concerned that it is putting the town's infrastructure under stress. Parsippany-Troy Hills is one of many towns fighting the mandate in court with no success to date. What can be done to manage this situation better and help residents understand what is going on? You're on mute. I'm sorry, you're still muted.
I thought there was an opening statement. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're right. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. That's why I was kind of
Let's
off.
do okay, I apologize. Let's do
Okay.
the opening
Should I start
statement.
my opening
But
statement?
now you know what the question is. You can think about
Yeah,
it.
I do. The affordable housing. Okay. Well, first and foremost, let me start with the round of thanks. First and foremost, I thank my children for all their support and understanding and all the time I devote to being mayor. Thank you to all the residents for interacting with me, and thank you for your comments, suggestions, concerns that help me serve you better. Thank you for all our township employees, for all that you do for our community. Thank you to our community partners like the county, our neighboring leaders that we work with throughout the year. And of course, thank you to the rest of the governing body. A lot was accomplished over the last 3.5 years. We accomplished many things by working together, working with community partners and engaging the public prior to making decisions. Pretty simple process to follow for success. I'm here tonight to humbly ask you for vote for me, James Barbera, for mayor, and my running mates, Frank Naglia and Jigger Shah, for council in the June 10th Republican primary. In 2017, Parsippany elected an individual with no experience to run our beautiful town. The result, the $23 million surplus I left him in the budget turned into an $8.5 million deficit. Even worse, the former mayor neglected community services. Crime went up and services went down. Parsippany was in decline. Since my return to office, we have repurposed vacant office buildings to increase revenues and shift the tax burdens from our residents to commercial taxpayers. We have invested in our community, particularly the police department, by hiring 26 more deployable police officers to protect our neighborhoods. And just recently, I announced a historic pilot revenue sharing plan with the Board of Education so our children can directly benefit from our pilot programs. The result, our surplus has been restored, our bond rating has increased, and according to the New Jersey State Police statistics, crime is down across the board in Parsippany. It's morning again in Parsippany, and with your support, the sun will shine in Parsippany for many years to come. Thank you.
Justin, your opening statement?
Yes, good evening, and thank you to the League of Women Voters in the Morris region for hosting this important debate. My name is Justin Musella, and I'm running for mayor of Parsippany because I believe we need a mayor who stands up, shows up, and speaks up for Parsippany taxpayers. For far too long, we've watched our taxes climb, our roads crumble, in a town hall that operates behind closed doors with little to no transparency. Tonight, you're going to hear my vision for Parsippany, which is that I believe our best days are still ahead, provided we have the will to change course. I believe we can make the Mayor's Action Center truly responsive. I also believe that we can achieve fiscal responsibility by restoring the practice of balancing budgets, by ensuring that there is a strong check on the balance of power between developers and us, and streamlining our services, not eliminating them like my opponent might say about sanitation and the ones our seniors depend on. Tonight, you are going to be facing a very important question over who is going to lead our town for the next 4 years. I am asking you to hopefully agree with me by the end of this debate on one answer, that the team to move Parsippany forward is Justin Musella for mayor, Casey Preek, and John Beelan for council. Thank you.
Thank you. So now we'll go on to that question. I'm going to repeat at least the end part because it's been a while since I asked the question. It was about obviously the affordable housing mandate and Parsippany's ability to meet that mandate. And the question was, Parsippany is one of many towns, although you're one of many towns fighting the mandate in court with no success to date, what can be done to manage this situation better and help residents understand what is going on? And we'll start with James.
Okay, thank you very much for that question with regards to the affordable housing. First, let me just say this. The Trenton Democrats have imposed such a restrictions on Parsippany-Troy Hills with regards to the mandate of the Mount Laurel doctrine, which is the affordable housing doctrine that we face. They call it affordable housing. I call it high density housing. That's exactly what it is here in Parsippany. Not just that, our infrastructure, our school system is going to have a very difficult time with the number of units that we have to comply with. Now, as you know, the courts are pretty much in control of the affordable housing mandates that we have here in the town. The best way to manage it, to be totally honest with you, is you got to meet with each developers. You have to work things out. You have to talk about what's best for the township. In the meantime, what you don't want to do is you don't want to lose your immunity. So let's just give an example. We have several key areas in Parsippany, and I'm going to give you. There's 21 vacant office buildings in Parsippany, and I can tell you a lot of them are going to be earmarked for affordable housing. You're going to need a mayor with experience who's handled affordable housing in the past, a mayor that's been a township administrator that's handled affordable housing in the past. That's what you're going to need, and I have that experience to do that.
Thank you. Justin, same question.
Yeah, for starters, we can elect a Republican governor come November. It is imperative that not only is there a strong check on the balance of power against developers restored in Parsippany, but also in Trenton, somebody who will overturn the Mount Laurel doctrine. So what I can do as a mayor in Parsippany is working with developers to target the least problematic areas and parcels of land that are away from residential areas that won't compound to the already horrible traffic situation that many Parsippany residents face. There's municipalities that are utilizing density credits. It's a way that they are fulfilling their Mount Laurel obligation while getting more development done in one place instead of the urban sprawl that is currently happening in Parsippany. And what I will leave you with last is that we should have been first and a leader in this lawsuit against the affordable housing doctrine and not joining it last, given how injurious it's been to Parsippany.
Thank you.
I will respond to that one last comment. We were in negotiations with other mayors, myself, the Montvale mayor, with regards, and we definitely were going to join it. We had some other things I was dealing with housing, with pilot programs, of course, But to say there that we were last, no, we were first in the fight. We're in the fight still. It's being appealed. And to be totally honest with you, that's where he lacks the experience of understanding. He thinks we were last, but we weren't.
Yeah, I mean, look, may I have a rebuttal?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how long you've been in the chair. It matters what you do with the time. And if I were mayor, my focus will be on being a leader in these fights that are affecting suburbs like Parsippany. When it comes to the affordable housing doctrine, there is no doubt that it has placed enormous strain on our infrastructure along with our schools. So we need a mayor that is going to work with the Board of Education and also give them a seat at the table when things like this are unfolding. But separate and apart from that, we also need tough negotiation with the developers to always secure the best outcomes for our town.
Thank you. We're going to move on to the second question. And that's going to go first to Justin. And the question is, one tool Parsippany and other towns have used to attract developers to achieve the affordable housing goals and the redevelopment of vacant office properties is to offer tax discounts known as pilots, or payment in lieu of taxes. Parsippany has given out more pilot programs than most towns, which has generated considerable controversy in town. Are pilots necessary? And if so, why? And how do you come to that decision?
Sure. So pilots can be a useful tool, provided three things are in check. Number one, there's independent financial analysis done. Number two, the Board of Education has a seat on the table. And number three, there's community benefits. The pilot program that unfolded back in December of 2023 was nothing more than corporate welfare for the mayor's top fundraiser and our former town attorney, John Inglesino, who received all of the pilots while representing the municipality. That was the reason I was dead set against the program. And it also was one of the reasons that over 1,000 residents came out against it. So under my administration, would I like to keep that tool on the table? Absolutely. But there has to be those three things set before I consider it.
Thank you.
Okay. I'll rebuttal that with regards to oh, there you go again. There you go, Justin, with regards to Mr. Inglesino, but that's beside the point. These properties that were vetted, and they were vetted properly, that had to do a need of redevelopment in all these projects, and Justin voted for every single one of them with regards to it, knowing that there could be pilots. So that being said, you got to be upfront and forward about that. These pilots, now we had certain projects that if they didn't get pilots, they're going to leave. So when you call it corporate welfare, that's not what would have happened. They would have left, they would have demolished the buildings, and who subsidizes the taxes? The taxpayer. That's what's happening here in Parsippany. We cannot allow that to happen. We have Lifetime Fitness coming, was taking over this 200,000 square feet of office space at Avis. So those pilot programs were very necessary.
Thank you.
So
rebuttal?
Yeah, definitely. For starters, 4 of the pilots were apartment buildings and 2 were warehouses and 1 was a gym. So the mayor is incentivizing the very things that are in extreme demand right now. Everybody is knocking down our door to build an apartment building or a warehouse. And to put us in business with a gym for 30 years, I thought was completely the wrong thing, because it's Parsippany taxpayers that have assumed the risk. So that's why when I said before, there has to be independent negotiation and a financial analysis done to make sure that they're a win for the town. And that wasn't done.
It was done.
Well, it came in.
You got the report. It was done, Justin.
It came
you know
in.
It was done. So don't say that.
I'd like, Mayor, please don't get tough with me. Be
Justin, you've been muted. I'm sorry. So we'll go on to the third question. Unless you would like another minute, both of you each would like another minute on this question. If you both would like another minute on this question, just show me by raising your hand. Okay, we're gonna have to move to the third question. You can address it in your closing, Justin, okay? So during the campaign, there has been debate about whether to outsource the Department of Public Works, DPW. The town also operates two utilities, the golf courses and the sewer treatment plant. Wait a minute. It's strange. I apologize.
They didn't want you to ask that question.
No, they want, it's my fault. I can't find where I put the rest of the question. Can I have 2 minutes? I apologize. I have the questions here. Okay, here we go. So you have the town also operates two utilities, the golf courses and the sewer treatment plant. Should the town consider outsourcing, I should have known this, any or all of these and why? And I think we begin this one with James.
Absolutely not. I would not outsource sewer or water. Of course, any private company is going to come in and dangle a carrot to the towns and say, hey, listen, we can make sure that there'll be a savings for our residents, but that won't last long. And what we won't have is we won't have control over our own rates. If we're producing surpluses now in the water utility and the sewer utility because of proper management since I've been back. Same with the golf utility. Right now, the golf utility has a surplus, and we're going to continue that. And I have such great respect for our township employees that work in the water and sewer department.
Thank you. Justin, same question.
Yeah, as it stands, I see no reason to privatize those sources. What that question might be referring to is 4 years ago when we were staring down a 14% tax increase. And I know the mayor likes to continually bring this up as a scare tactic to the town employees and the residents that I did look into privatizing our trash pickup. At that time, it was an extremely large tax increase. So I presented it to the mayor, nothing happened. But just because, I'm going to look into something doesn't mean we'll end up doing it. And I also believe that we do have great town hall employees. And that's why on day one, if I become mayor, we need to finalize a contract with our Blue Workers Union, who are not able to serve our township at our best because right now the morale is at the lowest it's ever been.
I'll rebuttal with regards to the first year increase. Justin ran with me in 2021. He knew the state of the town. He knew what was taking place. He knew how everything wasn't operating properly the 4 years prior to me becoming mayor again. Tough decisions had to be made. You can't cut your way to prosperity, but what he wanted to do was he wanted us to lay off 130 DPW workers, lay off some police officers, take the buses away from our senior citizens, tell them they could get Ubers, and the rest of the council did not agree with him. He made no motions to do such, but that's exactly what took place during that first year's budget. I came back with an $8.5 million deficit, and there's only two ways to fix it. He met with me in my office with the former business administrator.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Can I respond to that, please?
Yes.
Yeah, so look, the mayor is right. We ran together as a fiscal conservative, and while he talked the talk, he didn't make the cut. And on day one, we did know what we were getting into, which is why I think it is a fiduciary responsibility to look into every single way that we can provide relief to our taxpayers, but also ensure that our township services can be protected. And that's what I have always done and proposed at every single budget process. And I've released them publicly. Nothing has ever included laying off police officers. That, again, is a scare tactic. And we've made our plans public, but
Thank you.
The mayor just refuses to meet with me when it comes time to saving money.
Thank you, Justin.
Right. I got to respond to his response, but that wasn't a scare tactic. Those were facts. So, thank you.
Okay. Let's move on to the next question. Again, if you need to cover some of this, you can put them in your closing statement unless you would like another minute for both of you to answer a particular question, okay?
Okay.
The next question deals with the library system. The Parsippany Library System has 3 branches, including Lake Hiawatha, which clearly needs rehabilitation and improvement. Attempts to address this issue for various reasons have been delayed or abandoned. What can be done now? And we start this one with you, Mr. Barbera, James.
I can hardly hear that question. The question, I could hardly hear.
Okay, I'll read it again. The Parsippany Library System has 3 branches, including Lake Hiawatha, which clearly needs rehabilitation and improvement. Attempts to address this issue for various reasons have been delayed or abandoned. What can be done now?
Well, right now, we will be looking into what we can do with the building. First and foremost, they got a grant and we matched, they got a grant for $3 million and we matched that grant. Post-COVID though, I guess the building was going to cost around $6 million to redo and refurbish. The problem was when I came back into office, it was estimated at $9 million. And the township didn't have the money to put an additional $3 million out for that building. So right now, what we're looking to do is and I met with the library board on several occasions with regards to it. Either we can, whatever money we have, we can refurbish it and we're not going to knock it down. We're going to have to just refurbish it and bring it up to standards that we best can. But a lot of this, we have to get approvals from the library, from the state of New Jersey with regards to that. There's other options. We purchased some open space property over on Knoll Road. Possibly that could be for a new library, but we're not quite sure where we are with that because it comes down to dollars and cents at the end of the day. And right now we're looking at possibly, and we're going to be talking to the former, the owner of the property where Rite Aid was, or Drug Fair, I can't remember, I think it was Rite Aid, and possibly do a lease.
Okay, thank you. Justin, same question?
Yeah, look, our libraries are critical. They're an important amenity to the residents of Lake Hiawatha. But we also have to level with the public that this is a building that is in a serious state of disrepair. And there are no easy choices facing us. Either we shut it down, we refurbish it, which would still probably require us to shut it down for a period of time and people would be without access. As mayor, I would look into what is the best option by the taxpayers and the people who need it. That could also include looking at sharing a service with Montville, or seeing if there is a way to restructure that grant where it wouldn't be an enormous sum of money for the taxpayers, but it could still allow us to get the building and allow it to remain operational.
Thank you. James, would you like a rebuttal?
Oh, no, I mean, the point is the fact that the building is very, very old and we just don't want to put bad money into it. I mean, money into a building that needs a lot more work than anticipated from when I first came back.
Justin, do you have anything to add?
I think we're clear there.
Okay, thank you. So the next question, we'll start with Justin this time. Contractors and residents frequently complain about the time it takes to obtain a building permit. What plans do you have to improve the efficiency of the building permit process in Parsippany?
Yeah, so as mayor of Parsippany, that will be probably one of my #1 priorities is to fix our dreadful permitting process. And the way that we do it is #1, I would like somebody to be there at 8 a.m. at the construction office who can meet with contractors and residents before 9 a.m. so they can drop off their paperwork. #2, I'd like to expand our module that allows residents to see their permit progress and where the hiccups are. I'm a really big believer in digitizing that process so we can reduce the workload on our employees, the number of missed phone calls between them and the professionals that is often the reason for these delays on our permits. And then #3, appropriately staff the department to ensure they can meet the demand that is surely there right now.
Thank you. James, same question.
Sure. With regards to the downstairs, well, I can tell you this much right now. We are in the process of hiring more construction code officials with regards to downstairs. Right now, we're inundated with all the building that's going on in town with regards to, Top Golf. We have Chick-fil-A that was here, but that's even beside the point. We need to man it, and we've been trying to man it the best that we can. I have to tell you, though, we do have a module in place that was just put in, I think it was last year, that is being utilized with regards to the permitting process. And not every, permit, it gets denied the way, you hear it. I have to defend downstairs. Some of them do a great job, but the issue is that we need to man it, and I know that offhand, and we're trying to get people to work. Problem we do have is the fact of the matter is we can't seem to get full-time construction codes officials. So I know we're in the process of hiring more. I think we have 3 more on board coming to work downstairs. So it's being addressed.
Thank you. I'm assuming there's no rebuttals here. Great. So we'll move on to the next question. What will you, and James, you'll be the first to answer this one, okay? What will you do to improve the quality of life for existing residents of Parsippany in terms of traffic safety, pedestrian safety, and preservation of natural resources?
Okay, well, traffic safety is monument, as you know, here in Parsippany. And I did that by hiring an additional 26 police officers here in the township. When I came back in 2022, our manpower was down to 81 deployable police officers. I sat with the chief, met with the chief, and we knew we had to do something. We didn't have a traffic division. It was pretty empty. We didn't detected the bureau the same way, but now we have 6 police officers in traffic, and we are monitoring all the traffic, pulling speeders over, and we're doing everything that I said I would do when I first came back. That was very important. One of the issues that we are having here in Parsippany when it comes to traffic is the mere fact of, believe it or not, the sinkholes on Route 80, that there is seems to be no end in sight. So Parsippany has become a cut through over here in the Route 10 section of Parsippany, cut through the Parsippany Road, from Parsippany Road to 287. So that is going to be monitored through our police department, and it's going to be monitored with the state. And I'm going to be contacting the state very shortly with regards to these traffic conditions here in Parsippany.
Thank you. Justin, the same question?
Yeah, so in our form of government, the mayor is the police director, and there have been many instances where targeted enforcement has been very successful. So for instance, on Meadowway, there were residents who were struggling to deal with the spate of speeders that kept coming up and down the street. So, they sent a petition to us and acted on that to get targeted enforcement set up there, the lines restriped, and a stop sign installed. So what we have to do over the next 4 years is look at where are the major areas of speeding and ensure that those roads are engineered to accommodate the flow, that our police officers are going to enforce the speed limit, of course, and pursuing the grants necessary to ensure they have the technology to do it. And then when it comes to preserving our natural resources, these are one of the biggest challenges coming with the massive amount of building that's going on in Parsippany. And we need to ensure we stay in our master plan that gives us a blueprint to develop smartly, to ensure that the characters of our neighborhoods are protected and that we have the open spaces that people want in town.
Thank you.
And, I missed that one thing. I do apologize about the natural resources here in town.
Just 1 minute. I'm sorry, James. Why don't I give you both each another minute? This question had different pieces to it. It had
Right,
pedestrians.
and with regards to our natural resources. So
Yeah.
as everybody says that we're overdeveloped, we're actually redeveloping areas that have been developed already. The good news for that is that when you redevelop it, you're redeveloping with the standards of today, stormwater management of today, not from 30 years ago. So those are being addressed for water runoff, for cleaner, for the storm drains to be better managed and all that kind of stuff with regards to those environments. And I would say this, when I came back as mayor, we were concerned, I was concerned with the Highlands. And I have to be totally honest with you, we've worked very well with the Highlands Commission with regards to the development that's going here in Parsippany. They've been a good steward to Parsippany. I'm very pleased with them. Every project that comes through, we sit with them. They give us the criteria that we have to meet, and I was really impressed working with them, and I'm going to continue to work with them going forward.
Thank you. Justin, do you want some time to
Yeah, so I would talk a little
get on
bit
your
about,
answer?
yeah, so you could go to mucellaformayor.com. We released a 12-page plan that was made in conjunction with active and former Parsippany Police Department personnel. And they gave us some great ideas that I believe as mayor we can execute on, that is going to put pedestrians at the center of public safety, ensuring that walkways are repaved so speeders can see them, that where the main thoroughfares are, that they are that there's targeted enforcement on the places that are most problematic for our residents. So I think that as we move forward into the next 4 years, my plan would be is to look at where are we doing well, what can we improve on, and keeping pedestrians at the center of our policing plan.
Thank you. I think we're good with rebuttals, correct? All right, let's move on to the next question, and that one will start with Justin. What will be done if you're elected? What will be done to ensure development contracts are awarded fairly and equitably?
Well, number one, we have to end the culture of cronyism at Town Hall. It is a serious problem that the mayor's top fundraiser and former town attorney, John Inglesino, does a majority of the development in town and receives all of the pilot contracts. So I think, unfortunately, right now, development is a dirty word with a lot of residents in Parsippany. But as mayor, I would turn it into a word where they will understand that we cannot be anti-development, but it has to be done smartly. And so what that looks like is that making sure that the planning board is aligned with our vision of keeping Parsippany a suburb and not becoming a city, as I feel my opponent's policies will lead us to become.
My turn?
Thank you. James, your turn.
Okay, first of all, you got to let John Inglesino stop living rent-free in your head. There's two Justin Masellas, just so you know. The one prior to running for mayor, the one running for mayor, who thought John was the best thing since sliced bread, telling me how good of an attorney that he is with regards to a development. He knows and he understands until he decided to run, of course. Once he decided to run, now you got a different Justin Masella. Because I know one thing, if the guy was that evil, I wouldn't invite him to my wedding, but that's beside the point. When it comes to development in town, I meet with all developers. We discuss the perimeters of what they want to do. And if it works for the town, we vet them. And if it doesn't work for the town, it doesn't work for the town. And we've been doing that. John does not push development forward here in Parsippany. And I'd like to also add that if it was so bad, I don't know why Mr. Masella voted for him twice to be special counsel. Makes no sense to me until he decided to run for mayor.
Yeah, it's really simple. In Parsippany, having good relations with John Inglesino is essential to getting anything done. Developers know that, residents know that, anybody outside on the outside looking in knows that. So under a Musella administration, I want things being done fairly and equitably and transparently, where one person in particular doesn't just cut the line to get whatever they want from the township, and there's no strong independent negotiation done on the township's end. So that's something that will absolutely change under my administration. And I think that's really important because residents know it. They saw it with the pilot program, and it continues to be a problem.
Thank you.
There you go again, Justin. That is not factual. We deal with many developers and many other attorneys. That's just the way this is your issue. You can stick with it all you want. But like I said, there's two Justin Masellas here tonight.
Well, I mean, there's also
wait. You have a 30-second. Each get a 30-second rebuttal.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's also a Mayor Barbario that 4 years ago at a league debate said that.
Justin, I have to stop you there. You've each had your 30-second rebuttal, I think. Right. So let's move on to the next, because this could get become a back and forth personality attacks. So the next question, which we'll start with James, is how would you support the Board of, and this is our last question. Well, one of our last questions, one after that. How would you support the Board of Education to improve the quality of education?
Well, first of all, we're autonomous from the school board. Okay, the council, I mean, the school board and the mayor and the council are autonomous. The only way that we can do that is through the sharing of pilot monies, which we're anticipating happening. I will tell you this, I grew up in the town, I went through the school system, I see the challenges that they have. So what I did was I negotiated a shared revenue agreement with the schools. So that's outside their 2% cap. They get capped at 2%, which means they can't raise taxes above 2%. They can't raise revenues above 2%. So with the shared revenue, that is outside the cap. That will help them significantly. And they would get millions of dollars from it when all these programs are done and finished here in Parsippany, because not one pilot is up right now and running.
Thank you. Justin, same question.
Yeah, so the best way that the mayor can support the Board of Education is number one, pursuing shared services. There are many services that the board and the town overlap on, trash pickup, security. And as mayor, I will continue looking for ways to work with them that can reduce money spent for the taxpayer, but also provide a service that everyone needs in town. And I think planning is essential with the Board of Education. Given the spate of new developments that are happening, we are absolutely going to have a long-term plan where the mayor and the Board of Education seriously think about how a new school might look like, because that's something that I think is certainly going to be in our near future.
Just real quick, just so I can make the public aware, we do share services with the schools. We do pick up their trash. We do all the things, and we do coordinate back and forth with regards to our tennis courts, to our trash. So there is always something in motion, a process. And yes, it's more like an interlocal agreement. It's not a shared service agreement, but we do that with the school board now.
Thank you, Justin. You can have a 30-second rebuttal if you'd like.
No, I think we're clear there.
Okay, thank you. Believe it or not, we're up to our final question. And that is, will you please say something nice about your opponent? And
that was coming.
Justin,
I'm actually glad that question was asked.
Yeah.
I can go first if that's all right, Mayor.
It's your turn.
Yeah. Look, I think Mayor Barbario personally is a really nice person. And I think he would grant me this, that, he cares about the town as passionately as we do. And the reason that sometimes we have very strong disagreements on the issues is because we feel differently. But I think the mayor and I can walk into a room and we can have a conversation and enjoy each other's company, because I think he's got great personality. And to the people listening, our issues are not personal. They're strictly on the issues, and I've always told the mayor that, and he knows that. But that's what I would say about him.
Thank you. James, your turn.
Okay, with regards to Justin, no, listen, Justin's absolutely right. This is not personal. This is politics. This is business and stuff like that. What I do really like about Justin, I also believe, like myself, he cares for the township. He cares for its residents. One thing it touches my heart, and I can't help it. It's the way I am. When he had his baby, once he had a baby boy, reality is going to set in for him as time goes on. And I told him that, and I had no problem congratulating him and his wife Courtney, because there's no greater gift in the world that you're given as a father, even as a mother, than a child. So. Yes, Justin's absolutely correct. I don't take it personal, and I hope he doesn't take it personal after I read my closing statement. No, I'm only kidding you, Justin.
But what I will say, and hopefully this question wasn't asked, but it is a question that I do get a lot. Will you support the other person in the general election? And I'd like to be explicit. If the voters of Parsippany in the Republican primary do select Mayor Barbario, I absolutely will support him unconditionally, and I hope he would agree with me.
I agree with you.
That's great. Thank you.
I could do another 10 minutes of this.
I don't know if everybody watching really wants another 10 minutes of
Yeah,
this.
we'll do that offline.
So anyway, now we come to our closing statements, and I think, Justin, you are going to start with the closing statements. 2 minutes.
Sure. So, before I get into my closing statement, I'd like to share a story of a woman that I met recently while I was going door to door. She's lived in Parsippany for 40 years, and she recently lost her husband. She's a senior on a fixed income, and in the course of our conversation, she asked me, is the pride in Parsippany dying? And I asked her why she felt that way, and she said, well, with how out of control taxes have become, she questions if she can afford to remain here. Every day she's forced to make impossible choices between skipping meals or medications just to cover her rising tax bill. And she also felt that, when she goes around town, the amount of potholes and the trash that she sees everywhere is not the Parsippany that she remembers. And I'd asked her, I said, have you ever called town hall to get something done about these issues? And she said, good luck getting an answer. Now, this woman doesn't want luxury. She wants what we all want, which is to have an affordable quality of life and to be treated with dignity and respect, and to have a town hall that works for you and not the other way around. I want to thank the League of Women Voters for giving us this opportunity, and also my opponent for agreeing to debate. And tonight, you heard about the problems that Parsippany faces, but I hope I've made the case that I am the best candidate with the courage to address them head on. Together, I believe we can end the cycle of overtaxation, taxpayer-funded overdevelopment, and stop local mismanagement once and for all. But we need a change in leadership, a leader that is accountable, that acts and listens to its people. I'm Justin Musella, and I hope you will vote for me for mayor so I can make Parsippany a place you love and not leave. Thank you.
Thank you. James, your closing statement?
Okay, well, with regards to the woman who said that there's no pride in Parsippany and says good luck getting a hold, and I don't know who she is, because when you don't say a name, it's really hard to address it, but I disagree with her on 100%. I have a great staff in my office. They get back to everybody. We had 1,099 calls. Out of that 1,099 calls, 95% of them have been answered. 5%, 2% are ready to be closed, and 3% are active. So we get a lot of phone calls. I don't take photo ops every time something happens. With regards to myself, and with regards to, I can sit here and talk to a lot of people with regards to what goes on in the town, but this job requires an in-depth knowledge of the town and how government works. And I feel my opponent lacks that. He's doesn't have the experience that it takes to run a township like Parsippany-Troy Hills. This ain't an on-the-job training job. It's just not. Parsippany is a big town. There's a lot of commitment that has to be made. And see, in 2017, Parsippany took the chance on an inexperienced individual, good talker, sat there, could have sold the Brooklyn Bridge to you. And then what they found out 4 years later, was nothing but a bunch of hot air, because they didn't have the knowledge. They didn't have the experience. I'm a township administrator. I ran 2 townships. I know government. I know it very, very, very well. So with that being said, I respectfully ask you, the residents of Parsippany, to support me for mayor, to keep Parsippany moving forward, and my running mates, Frank Neglia for council, and Justin, not Justin, sorry, Justin, that was a few years ago, and Jigger Shah for council. And I want to end it with this, if I have time. I love this town. I've been in this town all my life. And when I have individuals saying that I don't have a vision, or that I am not open to the residents, that is false as it ever comes. I go to every game for high schools. I meet with the seniors. I do, but I just don't do the photo shoots that my opponent does. That's not how I am. I guess my time's up. I can see you going
Yes,
into
it is. I'm sorry.
I want to thank the residents of Parsippany. I want to thank the League of Women Voters. And Justin, thank you again for debating as well.
Thank you. I just want to thank our co-sponsors, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Inc., the Morristown Alumni Chapter, and the Daily Record. for their nonpartisan participation, support, and we look forward to continuing to work together. I also want to thank the candidates, James Barbario and Justin Usella, for showing up for this debate. We thank our timer, Diane, and the volunteers who helped make this evening possible. Thank you for taking the time, those of you who are watching now and will be watching at a later date, for taking the time to hear your candidates' views on the issues of importance to the community. And thank you for participating in the democratic process. Please don't forget to vote.